Auburn,
What's it?
living the dream.
When I'm not here, I try to have some fun.
Just an FYI to everybody, Mike, yours.
I
can't
set
hear
up
out of this
services
ear.
for people with developmental disabilities and stuff.
It's just plugged and I don't know why yet.
Out of town company, actually. So kind of like an EFR situation.
I'm sorry, I missed
It's like EFR, Arise, stuff like that.
It's at the launch.
Yeah, it's like case law, basically. Supervised.
Yeah, I was.
Out of town, so you don't work with Syracuse?
I wanted to be there, it's just obviously I can't.
I do remotely.
I have a lot going on right now, and I wasn't able to swing that. Like,
The one closest to the door.
I did it last year was good, but and then the weather wasn't really.
One in the street right next to the
Last year wasn't bad. This year was good.
Yeah, it was cold and rainy.
He always sits, he usually sits here, doesn't he?
I believe so.
Well, he's gonna have to make a little sandwich.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I changed. They put
No,
my
it's
folder
great.
over there,
It's
so
great.
then I was like, I want to sit
Good
in
for
the
me.
middle today.
It's fine with me. It's good to mix it up.
We gotta get everybody in the middle, faces. They get to know us. So what's next? What's? Did you go to the? How about the brunch? Did you go to brunch? Out of everybody, I thought you would be the one that make.
I can't hear you.
It shouldn't be like that though. It's just, cause then it's just one like vision running the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like that's not.
You know, look.
If they speak up like they supposed to, I will. Instead of acting like they whisper, like everything a secret. Huh? Well,
The best possible.
that's what I said last meeting. And everybody act like they knew her.
It is when you come downstairs later and get it. I couldn't carry it all. Anthony put everything in the car.
What did you say?
Anthony put everything in the car, and I brought it over, so I couldn't carry those boxes.
So the boxes with the hoodies is in your car? Okay.
I don't have a green shirt, no. I'm gonna go up. I'll get it. Is Renee not here?
You gotta make it. You gotta make it.
What's that?
I certainly thought she was going to.
Yeah.
Everybody moving in the same direction. So if you're playing this way, you're close now. You don't know.
Great, how are you? That's actually, was that yours?
I don't know. I called mine. Joss.
Hey, Rena, how you doing?
I called mine. Oh,
Good, how are you?
Good.
How are you?
where my binders. They just,
Normally sit
Different view, huh, Joe?
I know, but my binder, my folder wasn't over there.
Maybe different sitting on this side.
He should be okay. Are you like confused? She probably put it over there. I have it. I have both of them. Here you go.
She got it.
I got it.
We're trying to send you a message.
So,
John, I don't know how to tell you this.
yeah, we're not letting you go.
Oh, you're gonna come over here. See, I took it as like a sign. But I should come over here and sit next to Harry at this side of the table.
I didn't sit next to both.
But you're gonna sit next to both of us. Okay. I like a sandwich. I like a Joe sandwich. Is that right?
Very nice did an awful
she
shoot
wrapped
together.
it for me. 'Cause it was pretty
Bonded.
much also. Rolled it a little to the wrap. Half my back. Just to let everybody know, I can't hear out of my right ear, okay? All right. So if you say anything that's of importance, can you speak either in the microphone or do sign language, and I'll act like Helen Keller, okay?
You want to switch spots with Harry so your good ear is facing us?
That might work.
It's not a bad idea.
That's analytical in her coming out.
You and Harry are combo?
Yeah.
Nobody asked you what you wanted to do. How you
I know, Harry doesn't sit over there, but,
Should have voted on that one.
sorry, Harry, I didn't catch that. Right in your ear, you know. I want to be able to be heard.
I want to be able to hear you, too.
Okay, I think it's time now to call the meeting to order. You can hear now? Better? Good. I'm happy. Happy for you. Now, Josh said he was coming. Did he? He's pretty late. Yeah, gotcha. Nice to see everybody here. I can't find my glasses, so I'm gonna. Okay, so everybody should have gotten a copy of the minutes from the March meeting, and I would take a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you,
I
Jose.
second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Okay, administrators review. The two things I need are a person who is a mayoral appointee and a person who is an at-large appointee who would be willing to work with me on the review. The way we do it is there is a blank form and each of us fills out the form to the best of our ability and then sends it to me. And then someone from the mayor's office and someone from the council also do the same thing. Then we combine everything and have either a Zoom meeting or an in-person meeting to talk about if there are any different, drastic differences in opinion on RayNet's performance. So if people would either like to talk about that now and let me know you're willing to do it, or think about it for a few and let me know later, that would be great.
I'm willing to do it.
Okay, thank you. He's the mayor.
You said you need one from what other?
At large.
At large. So that would be the Bay guy and
Oh, it is.
Lynn.
You're gonna be a sandwich here.
Yeah, so we won't give you more space. Or unless you wanna go over there. So
Unless he wants to be
I'm
credited.
giving
He
you
said
the
on this
option.
thing yesterday, too. Okay, I'll talk to Ja about that later, because I'm sure he'll say yes. So, okay. Should I do that education thing now? Just get it out of the way. Okay, most of you got an email from Renette, I think we all did, about NACOL training that's coming up. So I would entertain a motion to pay $295 for Renette to virtually attend human perception versus digital video training. Thank you, Joe. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Zach. I have one question, and it's a simple one. Will you get access after, like you do with other NACOL trainings?
This one is through the David Law.
Oh, okay, so we won't get access after, or we don't know?
No, it usually stays underneath my account. Afterward, under like a, yes.
I mean, I was just wondering, like, if anybody wanted to look at it
Yeah.
after, if they could. I mean, I don't think that's gonna make a difference. Okay, all those in favor of paying for it? It'll come out of our training budget, which we have plenty of money in.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carried. And okay, a while back, I want to say it was during COVID, the town or city, whatever it is, of Geneva, sorry, Geneva, dismantled their police accountability board. In response to that, the board itself filed a lawsuit, I believe. They filed some legislation to overturn that, prevent it, saying that they did not have the authority to do that. As that happened, Renette, Peter, a couple of us did a Zoom meeting with the folks that did that, and they had talked about it, said if the entity was allowed to do that, that ultimately that could lead to all entities being able to do that. So we had very robust discussion on the practice of setting up and dismantling review boards. That being said, 2 years later, they are now to the point where they are requesting amicus briefs, and they have asked us to write one, and I will defer to one of the attorneys to maybe give us a quick lesson on what an amicus brief is, if you could. If you can't, feel free to say I'm not.
Ryan's email.
Oh, okay. Renette will read it then.
But more or less, the reason why they want us to do the amicus brief now is they want to, they want to appeal it. They lost. And so now they want permission to, appeal. So basically, the amicus brief is giving your opinion as to why it's important. It's not giving a legal, it's not about because it's just asking for permission for them to do it, but it's not on the merits of the case. It's not arguing that the legislation is correct, that this is what it's supposed to be. It's just saying that we support them in appealing to the higher court, saying, you know what I mean, for their ability to appeal.
Yeah, amicus just means like we're a friend of the court. We're offering our advice as friends of the court without any particular allegiance to a side. Although, of course, we do have an allegiance to a side, but we're saying we don't have a stake in this, but we want to offer our opinion to the court.
Because what they're thinking is that not having any other CRBs to, or oversight agencies to sign off on this, this could be a precedent. And if the court says no, you know what I mean, this could set that point in motion at some point in time. So would we want to show that we're friendly to a board being able to continue with the process? But we're, again, like Brent said, we're not saying we agree with it. It's just to say, hey, you know, we kind of think that this is right to do, kind of thing.
Would we be the only board, signing on?
No, I'm sure they've reached out to other people. We just were, you know, we're in close proximity to one another, you know, that being Geneva, that kind of thing. And I can feel free to send you guys the legislation, but the crux of it is that we're getting it right now, and if we were to do the brief, it would have to be in by the 29th of this month. So it was almost like there was not really any other time to not bring it to you right now, and say, hey, you know, do you want to say in theory that you're okay, but then, you know what I mean? Like, but again, somebody would have to write it, and if we decided not to write it, that's one thing. But I didn't want to not bring it up because the deadline is the 29th. And,
I'm happy to do a draft and circulate it.
okay.
That would be great.
So
Thank you.
I'll send you the legislation as to what was the makeup of it, but in general, it's what we're talking about. So I'll forward that to you. Thank
Well,
you.
and I think that it was, I appreciated them reaching out to us because you don't ever know what's going to happen and what the impact is going to be later on. And, you know, we can sit here and argue all you want that we're a big city, they're a small one, you know, but I thank you, Brent.
So activity report, we had 3 cases to come in online, 1 from the mail, 1 from ops. So we had a total of 5 cases to come in the month of March. So for 2024, currently we have 17 cases. You are reviewing 6 cases in executive session. I think that's what the
Thought it
number,
was 5.
I think it was
6 or 5, I don't know, somewhere
Well,
around
I'm
there.
telling you, it was 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that since yesterday or
It's
today?
5 as
That
of
was
today.
since last
5.
night.
Okay.
Station, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Beckworth was the last one you
Hey,
did.
hey.
Oh, I
Oh,
can't hear
oh.
you. Huh?
Okay. I guess we'll find the 6th one later.
Okay, but as we move forward, we state the number of cases for which we are going to review in executive session, but we do not state the names of cases that we're going to review in executive
okay.
session. So,
Thank you for saying that.
okay.
Because I was getting ready to tell you everybody's name.
I know, that's why I know, that's, okay. All right. We have our budget meeting, coming up on April the 11th at 12 o'clock. It will be in the Common Council chambers. We've kind of discussed it a few times. We mentioned in the last meeting, they moved it from the 10th to the 11th. So if you are able to come at 12 o'clock, that would be great. So we ordered a mailbox to be placed outside the CRB office because we, as we share information between the 2 departments, the Office of Professional Standards and the CRB, CDs are often brought down to us. If we are not in the office for any reason, it's usually slid under the door, but that door slot is still also big enough to retrieve something out. So what we were thinking was to put a mailbox with a little small slit that could be utilized too for complainants to provide, you know what I mean? If they stop by the office, they could drop complaints in there, but also that CDs could be dropped in there. And the question of the day is, would the CRB be willing to pay to repair the wall on the outside of the office should we move up out of that suite at some point in time? Because it would be to the wall. And we need to agree with the to foot the bill and that the landlord not foot the bill for the repair of that wall.
I move to authorize the repair fee, if any.
Okay.
Yeah, what would be, what would,
I just need to know because the answer to us being able to do it is contingent on us agreeing to pay to repair the wall back to the state for which it was in prior to the holes.
Looking for a second?
Second.
Thank you. Let's move on.
Anyone
can we cut a
opposed?
hole in the wall?
We are not solving
and
this
put a-
problem. We're not solving
It
the
is
problem.
not our problem.
Problem solved.
Most of us will not be on the board anymore by the time we're not in that office anymore.
So the motion
John,
was,
would you like to hang this?
No,
thing?
not worth our
I will
time.
cut a hole in the wall, we'll drop the mail down into the office,
No,
put a box right
put a
there.
box right there. like,
right now it's
Put it
capable
in the
of.
door, you
If
know.
we're paying for it, I mean, why
So
not?
we have the box, we
Yeah.
bought it from WB Mason, it is sitting there in the office, but I had to make
It's a
sure.
lockbox?
Yes,
Okay.
I just had to make sure that you all were in agreement and that,
Yeah, is anybody opposed to that?
I'm opposed because I have a question.
Okay, what's your question?
My question is, do we rent the space that we're in?
Yes.
Did we give a security deposit for the space that we're in?
I don't know.
City pays for it.
The city pays for it. Then any damage done to the wall, they should pay for it. I don't think the CRB should pay for it. That's my question, that's my answer.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Me,
Thank you.
So I can respond back, I'll respond back to the email. Board appointments, we know that we are still looking for a fourth district appointee, as it relates to it. I just always have to say, you know, if you're interested in being that, and you live in the fourth district, please send your resume and a cover letter about wanting to be on the board. And then the hearings, you know, we, have that letter from the attorney for the officers, that was circulated some time ago. We need to, you know, as a board to agree with the letter and theory. We've received several other letters as it relates to hearings. So I just ask that you guys look at, you know what I mean, review your emails as it relates to the letter. I just have to keep reiterating that. And as we get ready for hearings coming up, you know, that you're aware of some of the expectations of the hearing panel prior to going to a hearing and what they're asking us for. I will recirculate the letter after this meeting, just so it's at the top of your email. But again, I just want to make sure that we point that out. Legislation. So we know that there was a Common Council study session, most recently as it relates to some changes in the Citizens Review Board language as it relates to Section 5, office staff. That matter has been tabled. And at the meeting, they stated that it was tabled until next week. I haven't heard of a date just yet, but as soon as I hear about the date, I'll circulate that. Yes.
You mentioned the study session. Is that a budget review, the 11th, or was that for that legislation?
No, that's the 11th is the budget. So
Oh,
we,
okay.
yep, the 11th is the budget. I'm not sure if at that point in time they are, I mean, it should
they
not,
could.
it should not, but I don't know. So, again, I would say that it would be, you know, if you can attend that studies, you know, the budget meeting, it would be to our advantage for you to attend the budget meeting, because I don't know, but that is our budget time, which is April the 11th at 12. So far, we have, I think I talked about the budget last meeting. We asked for a full-time investigator. We asked for the technology to be utilized in our conference room now. The same technology that the Office of Professional Standards uses to interview to interview people. This would also be technology that could be used to share body-worn camera footage with us because it's on the Exxon platform. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the new captain.
We were gonna do that in a minute.
Okay, all right.
But since Renette wants to do it now, I guess we'll do it now. Matt, welcome. Matt Malinowski, who most of you recognize from television,
Oh, yeah.
will not be seen on television anymore, has been promoted by the SPD and is now working in the Office of Professional Standards.
Yes, so he's the captain of the
Captain
office.
of the office.
So they have a captain.
Congratulations.
We welcome the opportunity to work with you, Matt.
You look different on TV.
So I'll be really quick. So it's been an honor to represent the police department over the past 5 years. I remember coming from some challenging times back in 2019 when I first got the job. Community and police were not very close, I felt. So through community forums, our social media, and really getting out there with our National Night Out, Coffee with a Cop, training, it was really all about community connectivity and getting information out. So I'm sad to leave that other job, but I know this is a very important role. The Office of Professional Standards and the ability to investigate ourselves impartially and get that out and work with you guys. So I'm just looking forward to the opportunity. So thank you.
Do you know who is placing you?
It's a team of people for now. I don't have a full-time person yet, but eventually there will be a full-time officer in my role. That's the plan.
So now in the Office of Professional Standards, the staff is a captain, a lieutenant, and then it still has the 3 sergeants. Lieutenant Izzo sadly is leaving us in May. She is retiring. I give her kudos for retiring. And I have met the new lieutenant, Lieutenant Cazzoli. I have met him and had some conversation with him. And we talked about what we have, the relationship that we have built, the communication between the 2 departments and things of that nature. So he kind of has known. He has now been emailing me back and things of that nature. So we are, continuing to discuss the way that we have been. The lines of communication are still flowing. So
Perfect. Just hope to build on all the great work that you guys already done. So thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Sure.
So currently, we are in the middle of CRB week. Hashtag CRB week. We had a march on Tuesday for accountability. It was from Dunbar Center to the steps of City Hall. Yesterday, we had an open house in which many members of the public, both outside of the city and in the city, came. We had board members to come. Lori, Bren, and Josh stayed the whole entire time. And that was great, but we had many people from outside agencies to come see the space and, be appreciative of the space that we are in now.
Did any common councilors come?
No.
Any elected city officials?
No.
No.
And so today was social media day, and so we've been putting some things together today, circulating them on our Facebook page and Instagram kind of thing. And we just wanted to make sure people know that was what's happening. And tomorrow there is community engagement in which the office staff will be going out to the community, passing out some literature, potentially doing a presentation somewhere as it relates to that, just getting the word out and sharing our resources along with community resources to the community about the CRB. We thought that it went really well, our open house, and we're thinking of trying to figure out if we should do that more often. You know what I mean? In which we have people come in. We also, again, now that we have this great space that we are in, and the conference room is a good conference room, it definitely can be open to where the public can come in and learn about police policies and procedures, talk about the stuff that they have going on in their common council district, things of that nature, in a different atmosphere than just in the open meeting. So we want to put that out there to the community, that space is available for that, and to do, just to host events, things there on a small level, that at least we could fit like 15 you know what I mean, people in there. So, yes.
Do you have a rough idea of how many people came by during the open house?
You got the data.
Poor girl.
Sherelle Pace, data analyst. I wasn't planning on speaking, but thank you, Ja. I would say we had around 30, maybe 35 people stop by. A lot of the people that came by were from different departments within One Park Place, but we also did have a lot of agencies come in. A lot of people from Hillside. We had a bunch of agencies just asking questions. They wanted to bring back brochures and flyers and things to pass out to their constituents as well and the people that they interact with daily. A lot of people just honestly asked questions all day long, which was good because obviously a lot of people had questions on our process, how many cases we typically deal with, so we were able to get that information out to a lot of people.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
It was a very nice event.
I just want to add to see if we could in the future possibly like do similar events, but maybe in concentrated areas in certain neighborhoods where individuals that might not potentially have the opportunity to get to downtown during those hours, or even have the social media like awareness of what it is that's happening this week. You know, maybe we could try to reach those individuals as well.
Yes, and that's why we participate in the neighborhood walks. That is also the community engagement that Anthony does when he passes out stuff to the barbershops and things of that nature. So yes, and also another ideal about that is I think the reason why the board has the makeup that it does in terms of so that you can let us know when you, based upon whatever common council district that you live in, or even if you're an at-large, to say, hey, you know, can you come to this place on a particular day? There's this event going on. Now we have the ability to show up. I also would be remiss if I didn't mention that lovely box that's sitting in the chair right there that has CRB T-shirts and stuff like that for people who have not received them. I know we have been kind of waiting for people to come to the office and pick them up, but we want to make sure that you get your materials and are able to represent the organization or the board and out there in the community when we have particular events and just when you feel like this is a great day to show support to the CRB.
Also, there are sweatshirts, and Jose is modeling one as he sits here. Those are in a box in my car that nobody was outside when I came in, and it was too heavy to carry, so.
Also, Anthony was last summer, and I'm sure he's gonna do it this summer. He goes to different community centers, which are pretty much in different blocks of the city. And we're welcome to go and join him. He usually does it by himself, except for the north side now. But we'll work on that as well. But he absolutely goes to different community centers as well.
And I will tell you that we did just order some vests. Many of the things that outreach people utilize in order to provide the community with some sort of notification as to who they are is a vest. So that we have it's like a reflector vest. It's orange and and it has CRB, it has outreach, you know what I mean, that kind of thing that he will be utilizing when he is going to places in order to make sure we don't have any situations, and that people can understand that that means safe. When we show up with our black sweatshirts, you know, it's not that kind of thing. So I think we ordered like 3. We didn't order enough for all the board members, but ordered some in terms of that. So we do have that to also wear during the outreach.
Awesome.
Also, June 29th,
Yes.
Anthony is working on scheduling an event at Meacham in the field, where the field days are. Hopefully with a bunch of other community organizations and some fun things for kids to do. maybe some fun things for the adults to do. You never do know what we might come up with. So if anybody has any connections anywhere or has any groups that they think might be interested in participating and tabling at that event, please let Anthony know that.
What's the name of the event?
You said
again?
the date
I don't
was-
know that he just put the permit request in, so I don't know that we've
Okay.
got a whole lot of details.
I'm not sure that we have an official name just
Right.
yet. Right now, it is, I know Sherelle will.
Yes, I can speak on it. What the idea is that it's going to be a CRB block party. We originally started off the idea as kind of a carnival idea for the kids, but we really wanted to encompass everybody in this event. The goal of it is to try to bring all sides together. We really want to coordinate with other departments like SPD, the Fire Prevention Bureau, to see if they can come out. We want to have a tent where other agencies can come and table and provide resources. We want to get a bunch of different, concession stands and games and things like that for the kids to take place in. We would love to have some of our connections join in. We're sending out letters that we've already drafted to different companies like Wegmans and other food vendors to see if they will donate items. We really just want to kind of include everybody in on this, and we really just honestly want to show unity within the city of Syracuse and really just bring everybody together. I've also connected with some of our connections, Anthony as well, to see if we can get some volunteers for the block party. So we want to incorporate some students in there for maybe volunteer work. Agencies are talking to us about having their board and staff contribute as well. So we're really putting together a hefty load of volunteers so that we can really make this go off without a hitch, and we would love for you guys to participate as well. We will definitely have more solid details. We just needed to solidify all the permits, get all the vendor information together, put together quotes and things like that. So we'll have a proposal for you guys soon, including all of those details.
Did you say the location?
Meacham.
Meacham, yeah, Ware Valley Field
Because it was
Days.
so big and, a good place where we still had parking. We considered some other places. Berry Park wasn't available. Meacham was, and we knew it had the parking lot, and that was great for us, and also has a bathroom. You know what I mean? So you can kind of utilize those kind of things.
It's on a bus lane.
It's on a bus line.
Several bus lines.
That kind of thing. So we really tried to think about ways in which we felt like it was a good place, and that we know that people from all across the city have come to that particular area in the past. And then we're trying to reach out to the youth groups and say, can you bring your busload of teens? You know what I mean? So if you are part of like street addiction, if you are part of Good Life, can you transport your teens there? Kind of make it like an activity, and we're trying to make sure we get it out in enough, advance. We intend to have a lot of fun. They do have, a lot of ideas for which we are going to need people and board members to be available to help, with, the things that are going to be out there that need manning, that need supervision. So we are hoping, that you put that in your calendar early. That's why Lori wanted to make sure we put it out there early, and you can, mark that date off as.
And it is a Saturday for those of you that are.
You said June 29th? Is that what you
Yes.
said? And Meacham Field, that's all the way down Salina?
Yes.
Okay.
Not Meacham Elementary School field, like the field
Right,
where
where
where the
they
field
used
days
to,
are.
yeah, where the
By the-
field days used to be.
oh, yeah.
Right, where the hockey rink is.
Hockey
That-
rink and the
yeah.
Yeah.
football stadium, yeah.
Where the field days used to be?
Yeah.
Seneca Turnpike.
Is that not where the field days are now?
The Valley Field
I
Days.
think they stopped
yeah.
it.
Oh, I didn't know that was called Meacham.
You know, they didn't have them last year, did
They
they?
didn't have it last year. I don't know if it's, yeah, I don't know but we haven't had it, so.
Is that set in stone, or is that hypothetical, Meacham?
It's set in stone.
It's set in stone because we had to put in the permit, and when we checked other parks weren't available.
We did check with Parks and Rec to make sure that the
Park
date was
wasn't
available. We wanted to choose a location that was a little more accessible, but also had all of the things that we were looking for, like parking, the bathroom, all of those things that kind of checked all the boxes. We did consider pretty much all of the parks here. We just landed on that one based on availability and
rains?
accessibility. I'm sorry?
What if it rains?
So
We have
tip-
tents that we
Yeah,
were
we
looking
are
into.
planning to utilize the budget and have tents available for rain or shine.
400 people?
We are planning to utilize the budget and have tents available, rain or shine. And so, you know, that is the reason why we're putting it out there and getting things together, so we know how much this is going to cost. And then we know how much to, you know, move forward and what we need to do in advance to keep this as a annual kind of event. We want to try to do something like that. I think that we've been around here 30 years now, and, you know, we should do something.
The signature event.
Yeah,
I
have a
agree.
signature event. You know, we're at 31 now this year, this week. So, yeah. All
Old.
right. Thank you, Sherelle.
Thanks.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Rich, glad you came. Training we talked about, government relations to be determined, police liaison. Next meeting, police relations, the next police liaison meeting is April 24th at 10, I put 10:30 on my calendar. I never remember if it's 10 or 10:30, but
It's at 10:30.
it's just at 10:30. So I was right, Matt. I did invite Matt. Have you met with the chief monthly? You know,
Yes, yep, so I met with the chief monthly, we've had our, continued conversation about the reports, the 2022 report, the 2021 report, and, we have just drafted, we drafted the 2023 report is done. I need to circulate that, and then we have the first quarter report for 2024, done and ready to go. So we've talked about all that as part of that police liaison committee meeting. We talked about sharing those reports with them, giving them the opportunity to see it before we dropped it on the website, not for them to, you know, to not just see it for the first time. You know, we're gonna put in the data and the information. We did take some of their recommendations, and put in some more definitions in there, that they wanted in there about, you know, what certain things mean, just so that we can explain it to the public in a little bit more detail. Part of our reason too with the delay was we want to change the layout of some of the ways that we portray some of the data. So, you know, that kind of thing, but reports are rocking and rolling.
Thank you. That's Cheryl, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
Cheryl's been getting
Thank
those
you.
reports rocking and rolling.
Really appreciate that. So what are the next steps? Like, when will they, I understand you want to show the police first. When do you imagine they'll
We
be uploaded?
usually send it at the same time we send it to you guys. We put it, so the 2021 report should already be up there on the website. The 2022 should already be up there on the website. 2023 usually gets released at the end of March, early April, like usually it's already done. And then it's kind of discussed at the time of the budget meeting. So that's next week, but that's already done. And then the first quarter, they usually do a month after, like, the kind of quarter. So January, February, March, put out in April. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff, and we just keep going.
Any community organizations? Seeing none, public comments. Welcome, Barry.
Hey there. Hi, everybody. I did come to City Hall to support the CRB. I can't march anymore, but I can show up.
Drove her car for the march for us.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, couple of things. First of all, I don't know the structure of the Office of Professional Standards. Is a captain and a lieutenant and a sergeant and 3 sergeants an enhancement or just status quo?
Oh, I mean, it's an enhancement from previous years, as Matt would know. Prior to probably 2019, there was only 1 lieutenant and a sergeant in there, and then it was increased to 3 sergeants and a lieutenant, and then now it's increased a captain. So it is, I would say that it's an improvement as it relates to it, and we, you know,
That's what I thought. I just want to, and you said prior to what? There was just a lieutenant?
I would say prior to 29, maybe prior to 2020. I know when I first came in 2017, there was only one lieutenant and one sergeant. So I want to say that 2020 was when they moved into the 3 sergeants and a lieutenant.
Thank you. Second thing, just a suggestion on your event on the June 29th. I don't know if there's still a youth common council, but if there is, it might be a good idea to get them involved as sort of a parallel to the council. T-shirts, sweatshirts? I would love a T-shirt. And the meat of what I wanted to say, I was disturbed by the proposed changes in the law. I was especially disturbed because they seemed to come out suddenly and without any opportunity for public discussion or input. As a matter of fact, from what I understand, the counselors weren't even told what the specific proposed changes were before they walked into the study session. And I'm not sure that they even know, and I'm not sure that the changes proposed are the same as what I found out about. This is really disturbing. I want to strongly suggest that you guys fight for a basic principle. No changes in the CRB law without public transparency, public discussion, and public input. The council may think you're their creature. You may think you're your own creature, and I want every CRB to strive for independence, but the reality is the CRB was called for by the people. The CRB's legislation was revised by the people working in coalition. No changes in the CRB. Leave it alone unless you bring it forward and you're transparent. So I want that message heard. Secondly, I don't know what the problem is they're trying to address. You may not know either. I don't know that there is a problem. I don't know what problem is perceived, but if there's no problem, don't fix it. Leave the CRB alone. I'm particularly interested if the perceived problem by some of the counselors is about actions or comments or statements by the administrator. I helped write the law, rewrite the law in 2011. And I was one of the people who said, we had problems with the administrator before Raynette, before Joey, and we need a mechanism within the law to have oversight over the administrator. And we wrote that. We wrote that in section 6(3)(b). So my question to you and also to the counselors is, are you using what we wrote in the law to give you the power to have oversight over the administrator? And if you're not using it, don't change it. Utilize it and figure it out if it can work first. And don't go changing the structure of the CRB. I got the idea that there was a proposal to change who appoints the administrator. No, that's not the way it's supposed to work. That's not the way it was intended. The council appoints people on this board. The board should appoint the administrator. Secondly, I was brought to the understanding that there was a proposal to change the number of appointees to this board by the mayor. Reduce it by 1, increase it for the council. And that, to me, is a substantive change, as well as who appoints the administrator. Once again, no substantive changes to the law without public input. Also, I really would like to know what was contemplated in inserting the clerk of the council into the CRB. I'm not sure what she would do. I believe it's outside the scope of her role. I've looked at the charter. I see what her role is defined to be, and it's not clear what she would do or why and what role she was play. But I would urge you guys, do not let the city councilors muzzle your voice, either Renette's voice or your chair's voice. Because if you can't speak to what you need in your budget or what you need administratively because the clerk is speaking for you, that doesn't work. That's not the people's voice. And you are the people's voice and the people's watchdog. The last thing I'll say is I've been reaching out to counselors just to say, please have transparency, and if you want information about what went into the rewrites of the law in 2011, I was there, I was intricately involved, I scribed everything, because that's part of the role I played on the committee, and I'm happy to share. Don't go revising something when you don't know what the legislative intent is. So I don't know all of you. I praise all of you for your service, but if anybody ever wants to know what the legislative intent of any of the changes or the language, I wasn't there when it was written in 90 whatever, but I was there in 2011, and I'd be pleased to continue to be a resource for the CRB. Thank you for your patience. I know I went way over.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you,
Well
Barry.
said.
Mustafa?
Are you in the 4th council district by any chance, Ms. Galanter? Are you in the 4th council district by any chance?
I live in Strathmore up by the reservoir, and I have a new job, and no, I'm not.
It was a good try.
New job.
Mustafa, I don't do much talking, but I've been coming up here since 2011, and you know, and I've been up here since, and I've seen many come and go that's on the board, and I can tell, I know the good boards and the bad boards, and I'm saying like this: the board is for the citizens, not for the police or be buddies with the police or anything like that. But now they seem to more working more together now, and that's a good thing. I've seen a lot of progress done from back then to now. There's a lot of progress. But one thing that's been irritating me is that the board members got to show a little more support to the administrator. Because, you know, you guys, sometimes this board, you don't even have to call. It should be a call every time. It should be a call every time. This way, things could be produced and so on and voted on and so on like that. The board works for the citizens, not anybody else. That's who y'all represent. And I appreciate all of y'all for what y'all do and so on like that, because I like the part I play. You know, I see everything in all the faces, and I can tell who's faking or who's, believe me. And I don't mind calling you out. I'll pop up when you least expect me to pop up, and I'll pull your coat. And Renee know that. I'll pop up. You may not see me in a lot of the public, but I know what's going on, and I'll pop up when you least expect it. You see what I'm saying? So I know I look at all faces and how people react and so on like that. I'm watching. Just because you don't see me, that don't mean I don't know what's going on. You ain't got to be seen to make noise. You know what I'm saying? But I would appreciate if y'all would show a little more support to this lady, because she's been doing a good job and working her butt off. And I ain't saying that nobody else ain't been doing it, but the thing is, I'm saying it should be a call here at least every time. So if a vote needed, if it need to be a vote, you can vote for stuff. And then the Common Council will see, well, they support her, that they are on the team. They came together. That's power right there. You see what I'm saying? So I would appreciate, but I appreciate, it came a long way since 2011. I've seen a lot of progress and so on like that. And that's what we want to keep the board making progress like that, not falling back. And don't allow nobody to take the Citizen Review Board away, because you don't know if your grandsons, your sons, your daughters, or whoever, when you got you're gonna need a CRB. You ain't gonna need no police, whatever, but you need a Citizen Review Board, an outside board that's gonna fight. That's what you need. And that's the Citizen Review Board. Y'all represent the citizens, not nobody else.
Thank you.
By any-
And we
by
appreciate
any chance
you.
in the 4th council district, Mustafa?
I knew that was coming.
I have my role right
Okay, good try.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to go to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you.
So the box is most likely, the box itself is.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Your hair is still perfect.
The box is too short.
She wakes up at
Yeah, so I would want everybody to, grab the.
I think people were, I'm not sure who did, who didn't.
Okay.
Thank you.
Come this way.
Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you, Barry, for coming. I appreciate it.
Yes. Yes,
All right,
sir.
take a t-shirt.
No problem, sir.